Taylor Buchholz pitched 6 innings, allowing 2 runs to hold off the Cards and earn his 3rd straight win. He had some help behind him with some great defensive plays. Tonight, Wandy Rodriguez hopes the Houston bats continue to give him great run support. The Astros go for 2 in a row against the Cardinals. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, FSN Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, it's Game 2 of the 4-game series between the Astros and the St. Louis Cardinals. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Greg Lucas. Jim DeShae's on vacation. He'll be back after the All-Star break. This series takes us up to the break. This is our final telecast of this 4-game series. It could be a dandy tonight, Greg.
After the Astros winning the first game in the series last night, they will go into this one hoping to get the bats in order. Well, there's one guy that has been able to get the bat in order pretty well in the past against this very pitcher, Jason Marquis, and that's Lance Berkman. Look at those numbers, Bill. 545. That's not bad enough. 2 homers and 9 runs batted in. Now, hopefully, that will continue.
Morgan Ensberg's hitting in front of him tonight. Morgan's been drawing a lot of walks this season. It was Lance who didn't see a whole lot to hit last night. We'll have to see how Marquis handles it.
Yeah, if they're smart, he won't be able to hit 545 tonight because he'll walk all the time. But hopefully, if that's the case, everyone else will take over.
Marquis for the Cardinals, and coming up, it's Wandy Rodriguez trying to become one of the few Houston left-handers with 10 wins before the All-Star break. He's going for number 10 against the Redbirds in a moment. Inside air-conditioned Minute Maid Park, where the Astros are 28-19. It's Game 2 of this 4-game series. The Astros trail the Redbirds by 3, and the Astros in the tightly packed NL Central are in 4th place. Here's the starting lineup for the first-place Redbirds, who are 45-39. David Eckstein leads it off at shortstop. So Taguchi's in left field, batting second. Then it's the reigning MVP Albert Pujols at first base, batting third. Scott Rowland's a cleanup bat at third baseman, with Juan Encarnacion in right field. Jim Edmonds in center. Hector Luna at second base. Gary Bennett is the catcher. Jason Marquis on the mound. And Wandy Rodriguez is 9-5 as he takes the hill with our Rico scouting report.
Almost always say have this first line with him because he's not a real hard thrower. His command is a must. He's got to hit his spots. He does keep runners close, however, and he's got to avoid that one bad inning. It has also been a bugaboo.
Strike to David Eckstein. Eckstein was 0 for 3 in last night's game, with a sacrifice bunt along the way. And the count goes to 1-1 on a 3-12 hitter with 1 homer and 18 runs batted in. The Cardinals have designated Sidney Ponson for assignment tonight, and they've activated Jeff Weaver. They just obtained Weaver in a trade with the Angels, and according to stories, they are not planning to use Weaver in this series, but they're deciding what to do with him for their rotation after the break.
Kind of interesting. Ponson had been on the designated for assignment list before they made the trade. Weaver was.
Next time, looks at strike 3. Wandy is 0-2 in his career against the Cardinals with an ERA over 12 from 2 starts last season. This is the first time he faces them this year with this club on the field with him. Lance Berkman had 2 outfield assists last night, 44 in his career. That's the 3rd time he's had 2 in 1 game. Chris Burke's in center with Preston Wilson in left. Ensberg, Everett, Biggio, Lamb, Munson, and Rodriguez are the infielders. And it's So Taguchi, the Japanese-born outfielder, looking at ball 1. 292, 2 homers, 26 runs batted in for Taguchi. It's 2 balls, no strikes. In the last start for Wandy, he won 9-5 Sunday at Texas, giving up 5 runs in 5 1/3 innings. Enjoying the best run support in the National League, an average of 7.37 runs per start. 4th best in the majors. 3 balls and no strikes. He's allowed 114 hits and 47 walks in 105 innings, but Jim Hickey's lefty is 9-5. And there's a 4-pitch walk to Taguchi.
He's walked a few more than you'd like. Obviously, he's got to be careful because he doesn't have overpowering stuff, and that will result in some more walks. But that's 48 in 105 1/3 innings.
Albert Pujols follows. Tied for the league lead in homers with 28. He's second in runs batted in with 73. He has a .315 batting average. Last night he had a hit in 2 at-bats and also 2 walks, one of those intentional. Pujols, now a 5-time All-Star, looks at strike one. Pujols hit .330 last year, second best average in the league. Lays off there, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike with Scott Rowland on deck. The Cardinals have lost 13 of their last 16. The Astros have won 5 of their last 6. Taguchi runs well. Wandy Rodriguez checks him with a throw, but base stealing has been a losing proposition for the opponents with Wandy Rodriguez on the mound. 5 steals in 11 tries. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Pujols. Cardinals are 5th in the National League in runs scored, due in no small fact to Pujols' hits. And they have been powerful with a .705 slugging percentage, the highest in the National League. Fouls it back, and it's 2-2. Wandy gave up 4 runs in the second inning in his last start at Texas, but then the Astros struck back with a 7-run fourth of their own to give him that run support.
Yeah, he's coming off a couple of poor starts. You got to win in one of them.
Biggio to his left. There's a throw to Everett. And on to Lamb, who stretches for the double play. And the Astros lead the majors. That's their 106th. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Cardinals nothing. Astros coming up. Cardinals nothing, Astros coming up. You see Mike Lamb ready to bat second. Here is the starting lineup for Phil Garner's club, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Craig Biggio leads off at second base. He's on a 5-game hitting streak. Then it's Lamb at first base. Morgan Ensberg at third, batting third tonight. Ahead of cleanup man, right fielder Lance Berkman. Preston Wilson's in the 5 spot in left field. Eric Munson does the catching with Chris Burke in center field hitting 7th. Then it's Adam Everett at shortstop. Wandy Rodriguez on the mound. And Burke, great numbers against this right-hander, Jason Marquis. There's more on our Rico scouting report.
27 years old. If he's getting his breaking ball over the plate, he can be very tough. It's a pretty hard breaker. So Preston Wilson told us the hitters have to be patient against this guy. Of course, as a hitter, he's pretty good.
Yes, he is a good hitter.
He actually has a homer off Wandy.
And there's strike one to Biggio. 7 homers, 31 runs batted in, a .282 batting average on a recent tear. And check swing roller goes to Pujols, who turns it into out number 1. Defensively, the Cardinals, who made a couple of mistakes last night in the field, have Jim Edmonds in center field, flanked by So Taguchi in left and Juan Encarnacion in right. David Eckstein is the glue to the infield, the shortstop, sure-handed. Scott Rowland's at third with Hector Luna at second, Albert Pujols at first, and Gary Bennett does the catching. Mike Lamb's the batter. And the sinker's ball 1 to Mike. .335 for Mike. 8 homers, 27 runs batted in. He hit home run number 8 of the season last night. A line shot, scored 2 runs. That one catches the corner, and it's 1-1 to Mike. Big night for him last night with a couple of hits, and he's had 5 hits and 12 at bats on this homestand. This one goes to third. Rowland, positioned far off the line, perfectly for the second out. Marquis, with that heavy sinker, can be a good ground ball pitcher when he's putting the ball where he wants to.
Yeah, he's got a. That actually, the sinker is the one that they credit Dave Duncan with helping develop when he came over here. And it certainly paid off 2 years ago. In 2004, he was 15-7. Last year, he was very durable. He started 32 games, but he fell off to 13-14. And remember, this is with a team last year that won 100 games and only lost 62. So he would not count last year as being a very good year.
Morgan Ensberg goes for the pitch. Off Marquis' glove. Barehanded. Eckstein throws. Ensberg safe at first. Marquis unable to field the one hopper. And it trickles out to shortstop, giving Ensberg a chance to reach base.
Don't look so glum, Morgan. Every hit counts. As that ball just went off the glove, that's all it took. And then again, Eckstein can't make it up with his arm.
Ensberg's aboard for Lance Berkman, who has 76 runs batted in to lead the National League with 24 homers and a .316 batting average. Still waiting for a ruling, and it is a hit for Ensberg. Berkman only 0 for 1 last night because the Cardinals pitched very carefully to him. He walked twice and was hit by a pitch. Cardinals put the shift on. Eckstein up the middle. And Marquis stays away with ball 1. Berkman has really ripped the ball against Marquis. The Cardinals play him to pull, as most teams do on the infield. Jim Edmonds, though, in center field is straight away. .545 on 12 hits and 22 at bats for Berkman against Marquis. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Yadier Molina left the game last night. He was hit by the pitch from Taylor Buchholz behind his left ear. Left the game with a slight concussion. Gary Bennett had been injured in his last start in late June. The Cardinals really had not planned to use him, but he gets the start tonight, so they could give Molina more time to recover. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, the Astros are, because Wandy's pitching, are giving Brad Ausmus a 2-game break also. In his case, of course, he's not hurt. He's just getting a couple days off in a row.
Marquis 10-6 despite a .578 earned run average. Foul ball makes it 2 balls, 2 strikes. He won his last start, beating Kansas City 9-7, allowing 4 runs in 7 innings. But the ERA not where he'd like it to be, obviously, Greg.
And home run count's high too. Look at the 19 home runs he's given up this year. And that's why the earned run average is not that much under 6.
He won his first 3 starts, and then he fell into a 4-game losing streak. After that, he immediately made a reversal and won 6 in a row. It's been a strange up and down year roller coaster for Marquis. Berkman pops it up into foul ground. Marquis going over for it, and he makes a nice running play to end the first inning with no runs, a hit, and a man left. It's 0-0. Cardinals 0, Astros 0. Coming up, our Jack in the Box standings, and they show you the reverse standings of home runs allowed by pitchers in the National League. Sosa of Atlanta on top at 20. Marquis tied for second with Livan Hernandez with 19. And Mulder's surrendered 18. He's on the disabled list with shoulder problems right now for the Redbirds.
But they've taken his slot by getting Jeff Weaver in here, who's given up 18, because they're all in for the Angels.
Rolen fouls it off the chest protector of Eric Munson. And the count goes to no balls, 2 strikes on a .335 hitter with 13 homers, 54 runs batted in. A double last night. Just another excellent season for Rolen. Ensberg well off the line there. Wandy just missing, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Encarnacion on deck. Edmonds due to bat third in the Cardinals' second. Rolen's a 5-time All-Star. He lines one toward the corner and left, and that skips and stays fair. Bangs off the wall, and Rolen's in with a double, his 28th of the year.
Nice job of just staying where the pitch was coming in on him. And if there's a area of pitching that Wandy sometimes makes himself a little easier to hit, is the fact that look where this pitch is going to go. It's going to go down and in. It had break, but it was down and in. And hitters can look zone with Wandy a lot because a lot of balls come in that general area, especially his breaking ball.
Rolen's in scoring position for Juan Encarnacion, who's showing bunt and taking ball 1 on a breaking pitch. Encarnacion has 46 runs batted in with 11 long balls and a .282 batting average, hitless in last night's game. The Astros snapped his 8-game hitting streak last night. Encarnacion's been a very aggressive hitter over the years. Takes that one for a 1-1 count. Dale Scott is the home plate umpire tonight.
It was also nicely placed by Wandy. It was at the knees. It was down, and it was more toward the outside part of the plate. Keep those hitters from just zeroing in on that inside zone.
Breaking pitch is down, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. The Cardinals, despite very good batting averages by Encarnacion and several other of their powerful right-handed hitters against lefties this year, are just 13 and 20 against left-handed pitchers. Foul back, the count stays. It's 2-2 now.
You know, every so often you'll see a team like that. The Astros have been that way back when they were heavily right-handed and with power with the Bagwells and so on and so forth and Bells. And you've got to figure most of it is just not seeing left-handers that much.
The Astros are 4-2 against St. Louis this season, 3-0 here at Minute Maid Park. That's rolled to third, and it trickles foul. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Again, I like the location of that one. That was a breaking ball, but he was heading to the outside part of the plate, and Encarnacion tried to pull it.
And thereby hit the weak little grounder up the line. Rodriguez lost twice in both of his starts here at Houston to St. Louis last year, and both times Marquis was his opponent. In the first game, he gave up 9 runs in 2 2/3 innings.
That was when he was Enny Cabrera.
And Jason Marquis homered, as you mentioned, in that game. He also allowed a grand slam to Reggie Sanders. In the second game, he pitched well, but lost here 4-1.
That was where he was wanted. I'll have to explain that now, but it goes way back to when he was signed. He was signed under a different name. It was discovered his real name was Wandy Rodriguez. That's putting it in a nutshell.
So he has an alter ego.
Yes, he does, and we've decided all of his bad outings go to Enny Cabrera.
That's Encarnacion's walk, his 11th of the year. He doesn't take too many of those. Runners at first and second now with nobody out for Jim Edmonds.
It's funny because I had an email a few weeks ago about someone that said they had a baseball card of an Enny Cabrera, and it sure looked like Wandy Rodriguez, and I had to say, well, it is.
Head-to-head play, 226 for the Astros, 240 for the Cardinals, so the pitching has been much better for these two teams against each other than it has been at large this year.
Well, last night, case in point, 4-2 game.
Now Edmonds. Edmonds hit 5th last night against the right-hander Taylor Buchholz, who pitched extremely well. There's ball 1. 269 with 10 homers for Edmonds, and a promising night as far as the Redbirds are concerned, as he ripped a 2-run homer in the 4th and singled off the wall in the 7th inning, only to be thrown out at second by Lance Berkman. 2 balls, no strikes, so against the lefty, he's moved down in the lineup. Now Munson goes out to talk it over. But the Jekyll and Hyde nature of Wandy Rodriguez's season has been really hard to explain, other than the natural ups and downs of being a young pitcher and trying to get established after going 10-10 in his rookie season last year.
Yeah, no, the danger here is he's behind the count on a guy who's a good hitter, not a bad hitter against left-handed pitching. Not quite as efficient, but now he's got that count in his favor after a couple breaking balls, and so we'll see what the pitch pattern is going to stay.
Edmonds has struggled against southpaws, but he's at 3-0 in the count now. Luna on deck. Crowd getting restless. The Astros have had a good run of pitching the last few days. Buchholz won his 6th last night, giving up 3 hits and 2 runs in 6 innings. It's 3-1. Brandon Backey is due to make his 3rd rehab start for Round Rock on Sunday. And he'll be opposed by Ben Sheets, who's on a rehab assignment for Milwaukee. and he has one more start after that before rejoining the Astros rotation. Edmonds ripping away on 3-1, and it goes to a full count. Taylor Buchholz has a little problem with the middle finger on his pitching hand, which flared up last night, but the Astros hope with some extra rest over the break he'll be fine. Edmonds takes it close when it's ball 4 and the bases are loaded.
That was one that Wandy had trouble controlling his emotion on the mound, because when he threw it, he thought he had it, and it was real close.
Jim Hickey's on his way to the hill.
Maybe why he's going to go out there. Look at the reaction there. That was real close. And look at Wandy. He died.
It's a work in progress. The Astros have seen Wandy Rodriguez stay calm under situations like that at times. At other times he snaps a little bit, and they don't want him, or nor would any pitching coach or manager want his young pitcher to get a reputation with the umpires that he's going to be combative on a lot of ball and strike calls.
Yeah, that was a pump you up visit as much as anything else. You're okay. That was a good pitch, and you're going to miss some, and they're going to miss some, and just go get this guy. Let's go get Luna.
Luna has not been all that easy to get. 311, 4 homers, 16 runs batted in.
No, but I don't think Hickey told him that.
No, emphasize the positive on those trips to the mound. There's ball 1. Luna has hit .347 against lefties. Has a lot to do why he's the second baseman. Aaron Miles started at that position last night. Miles also has hit very well against lefties. Cardinals just have really liked Luna's bat. And he can play different positions. 2 balls, no strikes.
Count can get a pitcher in more trouble than any single hitter.
3 men on, nobody out. Luna's 26. He's from the Dominican, as is Wandy. And gets a call there to make it 2-1. Gary Bennett on deck. Luna last year played 6 positions while hitting .285, but didn't play much. 137 at bats for the Redbirds. He fouls it for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hector Luna. On the 21st pitch of the inning.
This is why Wandy has not gone more than 7 innings, or gone as many as 7 innings, except once since the 26th of April. Pitch counts.
Line, and Biggio flags it down. No double play, but he had to reach out and reach down while moving to his left for out number 1.
First thing you worry about on plays like that, as soon as they're hit, is you know that almost all second basemen wear much shorter and smaller gloves. You're always hoping they've got enough glove to reach it, and he had just enough. Pitch by pitch, you can see he missed outside with a fastball, then down low with a fastball, then down low, and he got the call on that one, although it didn't look a whole lot different than the other one. Raised it a little bit, and all he could do was foul it. And then another one, but he kept it down, and Biggs was the man.
Now 1 out, bases loaded for Gary Bennett, the number 8 hitter with Marquis on deck. And Bennett shoots a foul ball up the right field line. Strike 1 to a .203 hitter with no homers and 9 runs batted in. He had a hit last night coming in for the injured Molina, and that was a single in the 7th inning. Bennett had been injured in his last start, and that was on the 30th of June against Kansas City. He had an oblique strain. Line drive left field. The Cardinals grab the lead 1-0. Roland scoring. The throw is cut off. RBI single for Bennett, his 10th run batted in.
Interesting that when, after Jim Hickey went to the mound, Luna was coming to the plate, and as you saw in that replay of pitches, everything he threw to him was a fastball. First pitch to Bennett was a fastball, and the one he just hit was listed as a changeup. Maybe you should have kept throwing fastballs. Easy to second guess.
There's not a big differential in velocity between Wandy's fastball and changeup.
5 miles. He's throwing the fastball about 90, and the change was in at 85, and that's usually not enough difference.
Marquis at 182 has 3 runs batted in. He won the Silver Slugger, and he's hit by the pitch. His left hand. And Marquis will get his 4th RBI of the season the painful way. He drove in 10 runs last year. Looking at his right bicep as well, the ball might have ricocheted off the left hand onto the right arm. And it's 2-0.
5th batter that Wandy has hit this year. And I'm not sure whether that was a curveball that never broke. It was about 85 miles an hour. Terrible location if it was a change. It was in that speed range. It may have been a breaking ball that never broke.
Looked like it did hit him on the right bicep. He's shaking his left hand though. And now Eckstein, the batter. He struck out. He pulls this one foul, strike 1. 7th Cardinal to bat here in the 2nd inning, and it's 2-0. Eckstein's a career .237 hitter with the bases loaded. That one goes off the screen. It's no balls, 2 strikes to David. He's 3rd in the league with 104 hits.
Now you got the count in your favor, 0-2. You got to put him away in a couple of pitches here. Don't let him slapping and chopping and taking. And
he did after 5. Yep. Well, piece. Still no balls, 2 strikes to David Eckstein. His family has been through all kinds of difficulties with kidney transplants. 3 of his siblings have received transplanted kidneys. And last year's father was awaiting one when David hit a game-winning grand slam on Organ Transplant Awareness Day at Busch Stadium. One of his 4 career slams. And he chases one and strikes out. Number 2 for Rodriguez.
what a difference getting ahead on the count makes. He had been struggling with his control with virtually every hitter in this inning, except Eckstein. He got him on 4 pitches. All 4 strikes, although that one wouldn't have been if he hadn't swung at it. He jumped it, swing it that way.
Yeah, very anxious to climb that ladder. So Taguchi, the bases loaded and 2 down. Taps the shortstop. Everett charging and gets him. And the Cardinals break in front with 2 runs, 2 hits, 3 men left. It's 2-0 St. Louis.
Cards lead at 2-0. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. Go to MLB.com today and check out the brand new way to follow all the action around the league with the MLB.TV Mosaic. You can watch up to 6 games simultaneously on one screen. It's the highest quality video of live baseball you can watch on the internet. Check it out at www.mlb.tv. Greg Lucas here along with Bill Brown, and those of you who have not heard the announcement that we've made several times throughout the week, Mr. James Deshays. Jim Deshays is on vacation this week. He will be back after the All-Star break. Neither of us, or all 3 of us, will be here the next 2 days as the games will be televised by others. Fox Television Network tomorrow and ESPN Sunday night. But JD will be back after the break.
Preston Wilson looks at ball 1. 287, 8 homers, 45 runs batted in for Greg's pregame guest. And he was 1 for 3 with an RBI in last night's game, continuing his recent surge at the plate. Showing bunt, he looks at that one, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Wilson.
Yeah, he's very eager to be on the pregame show. I asked him, would you be on the pregame show? And he says, as long as I don't have to wear a tutu. And I said, I don't think we've started that yet.
Not yet. And we're not likely to. 1 and 2. But he was referring to a visit by several of his teammates to Methodist Hospital today for activities there, the annual Methodist Day celebration and hospital visit. And there was, we understand, a dance contest
yes,
involving Lance Berkman and Chris Burke. And Brad Lidge, I believe, took part in that. Maybe even Brad Osmus. But they were there.
they were all there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Munson's on deck. Burke due up third in the inning. Wilson puts it in the air foul. Rolling back. And he has room for out number 1. Marquis was 15-7 year before last. As Greg mentioned, last year 113, lost 14, working 207 innings. Cardinals starters were extremely durable last season.
Yeah, everybody is the same 5 virtually all year. And of course, you're going to lose some games, even if you win 100. They lost 62, and he was the odd man out 14 times.
234 for Eric Munson after an 0 for 2 night last night. There's ball 1 to Munson. Munson also drew a walk in that game. He's starting back-to-back games for the second time. 52-42 with a 4.36 ERA for Marquis, who began his career as an Atlanta Brave. 2 balls, no strikes. The Cardinals got him in a trade along with Ray King and Adam Wainwright for J.D. Drew and Eli Marrero in December 2003. It's 2-1. Well, Munson now in the last start in Texas for Taylor Buchholz, and also this time through the rotation, catching Buchholz and Wandy Rodriguez on back-to-back days. It's 2-2. Got a career high 5 RBI game at Texas. Roger Clemens pitches tomorrow against Anthony Reyes at 3:05 in game 3 of this series. You can find that game in Houston on channel 26. A strikeout of Munson accounts for out number 2, the first strikeout for Marquis tonight.
He's off to a very nice start. He only hit that infield hit as he's there's the breaking ball that Wilson was talking to us about before the game. It just comes off the table. And then on top of that, he's got the sinker, the regular 2-seam fastball. And as you know, if you keep the ball down, you have a pretty good chance of success. And he's got 2 pitches that do a good job of staying down.
There's strike 1 to Chris Burke. 293 for Chris, 4 homers, 21 runs batted in after an 0 for 3 night last night. Chris has hit .312 in his last 22 games, and he scored 20 runs in those 22 games. No balls, 2 strikes. Phil Garner continues to tinker with that lineup. Burke has hit 3rd sometimes, 2nd. He's hitting 7th tonight. Adam Everett's on deck. Foul back, and it stays. No balls, 2 strikes for Jason Marquis.
We both had a chance to meet Chris's dad, who is here along with some other family members. And he said that my suggestion last night that they get in a boat and go from Louisville to Pittsburgh wouldn't work too well because it's the wrong way. The river travels the other direction.
Oh, shucks.
It'd be too hard.
Yeah, it was good to meet his father, Al Burke, who was a high school and college coach, and he coached at Bellarmine College in Louisville, Kentucky when Chris was growing up. But they had 4 or 5 children, and he and his wife conferred and decided that coaching might not be the best profession for spending a lot of time with the kids. So then after that, he got another job and did some amateur coaching, was able to work with Chris along the way in his development, and still a very avid follower of Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah, they watch Astros games all the time from their home.
That's ball 3 in the dirt, and the count is full. That's the beauty of it, with the league so far flung that the Burks get a chance to visit him when he comes to Cincinnati 2 or 3 times a year, and some other cities that are close to that area.
By the way, Craig Aldrich wants to say hi to Reba Hammond in Ohio, and Ryan Aldrich in Oklahoma City. He's a big Astro backer. He's in town. Craig Aldrich is, but his Reba's up in Ohio. She says she watches every Astros game she can on FSN with her satellite dish. Got a lot of fans all over that are watching every night. I get to hear from quite a few of them on the internet.
That's ball 4, and Burke draws the first walk of the game from Marquis on that pitch in the dirt. Adam Everett will be next. Marquis has walked 41 now in 111 innings. Last year he had 69 walks and 207. 241 for Adam Everett after a 1-for-3 performance last night. He has 2 homers. He's driven in 28 runs. He dropped down a bunt single in the 7th inning. Wandy Rodriguez is on deck. These two teams meet 16 times this year. Upstairs, ball 1.
Astros don't use a hit and run all that much, but this might not be a bad spot to give it a shot. See if Everett could hit one in a gap and score a runner from first with the pitcher on deck. Or they could try to give Burke a green light to try to steal second.
Yeah. Jason Marquis from Manhasset, New York. Came up in 2000 briefly that year with Atlanta as a relief pitcher. It's 2-0 to Adam. Marquis wandering in his control here in these two batters as Rodriguez hopes to get a chance. Everett's hit .317 in his last 21 games. Adam takes that one and it's right down the pipe. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2-1 rather. And that's flared away and it's 2-2 to Adam Everett. Cincinnati erupted for 8 in the top of the 2nd in Atlanta after scoring 1 in the 1st. Cincinnati 9, Atlanta nothing after 3. Eric Milton, 3 no-hit innings, has a big lead. And Horacio Ramirez got shelled. He was gone after 1 inning, giving up 7 earned runs. The only home run, a 2-run shot by Rich Aurelio off Oscar Villarreal. Aurelio's 11th of the year. Fly ball up the right field line. Encarnacion hoofs it over toward foul ground. Can't get there. And Everett's still alive at 2-2. The Reds have just obtained Eddie Guardado. And he was having a terrible year for Seattle, but he's reunited with Wayne Kripke, who was the assistant general manager when Eddie was so effective with the Twins. Kripke says he'll give Eddie a chance to reclaim that closer's job on this different Cincinnati ball club now.
Well, it doesn't appear he's going to have to go into a closed situation in the game tonight.
No.
Leading 9-0.
I don't think he's even arrived with the Reds yet. Players have a few days to report after a trade. Everett strikes out, and that's number 2 for Marquis. It's no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. It's 2-0 St. Louis after 2.
Cardinals lead at 2-0. We go to the top of the 3rd. Don't miss your chance to win a home in the Shadow Creek Ranch 2006 home giveaway. Register for your chance to win the IKEA show home by Ryland in Shadow Creek Ranch, valued at $200,000 at Minute Maid Park, Shadow Creek Ranch Visitor Center, any Ryland location, or at IKEA. The IKEA show home by Ryland will be given away immediately after the Astros Cardinals game at Minute Maid Park on September 24th.
Albert Pujols leads it off. Cardinals 2, Astros nothing. Some freshly painted faces, and it's ball 1 to Pujols.
Very elaborate.
Took some time. Pujols bounced into a 4-6-3 double play. It's 2-0 with Roland on deck. Encarnacion's due up 3rd in the Cardinal 3rd inning. Foul back. It's 2 balls, 1 strike to Prince Albert. 25 years old. Encarnacion has the tape out on his left wrist. Fouled up the right field line. A run for Lance Berkman. And Lance Berkman tumbles into the stands after making the catch. The big Puma corralled it.
You just can't sneak one past the Puma. I've seen Pumas go over fences a little more easily, but
not blowing a bubble while they make a running catch.
That's worth extra points.
What a play, especially with Pujols batting. And Scott Rowland, who doubled and scored on the appeal at first, checked his swing. There's ball one. Ron Culpa with a call. Well, considering that he had a long run, right-handed batter playing deep, had to reach across his body on the run, and then watch out for that wall. That's quite a play. Burke in right center field with a long run on this one, and he snags it.
Better be aerobically fit, Astro outfielders, because you had to do some running here. Boy, he made it look nice. And he had to go a long, long way for that ball.
That's well done. Juan Encarnacion walked and scored in the second inning. Javier Bracamonte, the bullpen catcher, was pushing on the other side of that fence, probably yelling at Chris Burke that he had room. And it's ball one to Encarnacion with Edmonds on deck. Wandy Rodriguez is letting the guys with the gloves go to work after walking two and hitting a batter in the last inning. 1 ball and 1 strike to Encarnacion. Cardinals, of course, unable to retain the services of Reggie Sanders over the winter. He moved along as a free agent to Kansas City. And also Mark Russellonic moved along from St. Louis to Kansas City since last year. Encarnacion was one of those recruited to take over in right field. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike.
And you look at his production, he's given them a good half season. 11 homers, 46 runs batted in.
Grounded, and it's backhanded by Adam Everett. Accurate throw to Mike Lamb. Wandy Rodriguez might have discovered something. Let the guys with the gloves go to work. It's Cardinals 2, Astros nothing, and only 2-0 thanks to these plays. It's 2-0. St. Louis leading it. Wandy Rodriguez just took strike 1 as he settles into the box. Leading off the last of the third inning, he has 3 hits. And Marquis' breaking pitch misses. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Wandy. A 103 batting average for Wandy with 5 sacrifice bunts. Biggio and Lamb to follow in the Houston third. The Astros have 1 hit. All the way, and the count runs to 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll get a visit here in the next inning from Mario Williams, first player in the NFL draft. Defensive end for the Houston Texans. Training camp coming right up. We'll hear from Mario, who is guest conductor on the train tonight. Rodriguez strikes out. That's number 3 for Marquis. Coming up later on the Toyota Truck Game Break, find out the latest news about your Houston Astros in the middle of the 7th here on FSN Houston. Craig Biggio, the milestones just keep falling for this man. Grounded out on the check swing to first baseman Pujols, his first time up. He's 1 home run shy of Joe Morgan on the all-time list. And Morgan's in 4th place among all-time second basemen. It's foul away, strike 1. Last night's game was the 3rd sellout in the last 4 games for the Astros and their 8th sellout of the year. A lot of folks are here tonight as well. Biggio hangs it. And the left fielder So Taguchi comes in. 2 down.
When they finish the count here, this one may be, at least from the parts we can see up here in the booth, this one may be yet another. Look at that. A whole lot of gaps.
Has that look to it. Mike Lamb grounded to 3rd in the first inning. Since the beginning of 2004, the Astros have a .615 winning percentage in this ballpark. It's ball 1 to Lamb. Only Boston, the Yankees, and St. Louis have better home records than Houston since 2004 began. Astros 28-19 here this year. They have a long road trip coming up after the break. 4 games in Florida, 3 in Chicago, 3 in New York. It's 2 balls, no strikes. The way their schedule is this year, they have at least one long road trip of 3 cities every month, so it's been hard for them to gain ground because of their road record. Hit a long way to left center field, so Taguchi back on the track. It's a 1-2-3 third for Marquis, and a 2-0 St. Louis advantage. 2-0 St. Louis leading Houston after 3, and Mario Williams joining us. Number 1 pick in the NFL draft, defensive end for the Houston Texans. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Was that fun up there on the train?
Yeah, I was kind of nervous with the heights and everything, but it was all right.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it getting out of control and going too fast, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed.
Strike 1 to Jim Edmonds. Do you have much experience playing the sport of baseball, Mario?
I used to growing up, but it kind of, I don't know, it's just, it's not physical. So, you know, it's kind of, I'm not saying it's boring or anything like that, but it's a good sport, but it's something that I didn't, you know, choose to do.
Well, your sport is anything but boring, especially with all the action you get into at your position. And your career has gone just fabulously well. We know where you went to school, North Carolina State. Are you from North Carolina?
Yeah, I'm from North Carolina, born and raised. Yeah.
So now your first time really out of the state for any period of time, right?
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever been really on this side of the country, you know, for more than a couple of days. So.
Biggio throws out Edmonds. What do you think of Houston so far, Mario?
Well, I was always told, you know, the weather was always hot and things like that, but it's been raining so much now that I see more rain than I do the sun. So,
yeah.
But it's a good experience, good atmosphere to be out here.
Well, it's obvious you've made yourself at home because your home purchase got a lot of publicity.
Yeah, I know. I had cameras and everything outside. And, yeah, it was a big deal, I guess. All I did was buy a house. You know?
You're buying a famous house.
Yeah, I guess so. Yep.
But now that you're settling into the community, you're meeting friends, does it feel pretty comfortable for you so far? Yeah,
I mean, everything is coming along pretty good, and you know, I'm being accepted, and you know, gradually, and you know, just a new face in town. So I'm taking it pretty good, and everything's going smoothly. You know, there's an awful lot of change for a guy like you. You're coming out of college now, starting your pro career, all this furor about who the first pick would be in the draft. Now you're here, you're meeting your teammates, getting ready to go to work. Got a good feel for the new coaching staff. That's an awful lot of change, isn't it? Yeah, it is. And a lot of people don't look at it, you know, just as on the field things, it's the off the field things. I've been so busy, you know, doing this and doing that, flying here just for a day, you know, taking out a lot of time to do off the field things as well. So the whole atmosphere, the whole situation is a lot different, a lot more complicated, and you know, it's a big change. Absolutely.
Are you looking forward, though, to actually getting into football, getting into training camp, the real thing, so you can hit people?
Yeah, 2 days are coming up. Training camp is coming up, so but then I know I finally, you know, getting into it, and you know, start getting a rhythm, getting a pattern set down. So you know, that's what I can't, you know, wait for, and that's what I'm here for. So. Absolutely. Everybody really looking forward to the job you're going to do. Popped up on the infield, and coming in, Mike Lamb from first base. Wandy gets out of the way. 2 down, and now that it's going to be here very quickly, you'll be playing against teams like Philadelphia, Donovan McNabb. Have you been able or a big fan to follow the NFL while you've been in college, because you're pretty busy there playing all the games? Yeah, I really didn't watch TV that much, but you know, when I had a chance, I would. I watch college football more, you know, but looking at the NFL, I mean, it's going to be a lot different just because of the knowledge that the players have, and you know, just coming in there and just, you know, trying to compete with those guys that have been in the league for 10, you know, 15 years. I mean, it's, you know, they got a lot of knowledge. So. Absolutely. Gary Bennett gets his second hit of the night, bringing up a pitcher, Jason Marquis. Have you had a chance to meet pretty much all your teammates on the defense so far? Yeah, I've met everybody on the whole team. So, you know, I kind of got a little taste of everybody's personality, and just how they are out and about, and it's been pretty good.
How much of an adjustment is there going to be for the style that you were able to play in college as opposed to what you're going to be working into here with this team?
It's going to be very similar, but I do play a lot more tight five, which is almost playing a defensive tackle, but you're playing it on the offensive tackle position. But basically, I still upfield rusher, still attack mode, still going to go get it. So it's pretty similar, though.
It's amazing how quick you are for your size. That is some kind of a package. Fly ball to center field. Burke broke back. He's rushing in now, and it drops in front of him, and Marquis has a pop fly single. Well, Chris Burke didn't read that ball the way he wanted to, and Marquis loops it in front of him. Now runners at first and third with 2 outs for Eckstein.
That was a tough play because everyone's going to point at that and say that's what you get with a guy who's not an experienced outfielder. But as we've seen, that's an easy excuse. The fact is sometimes experienced outfielders don't get reads.
So now it's David Eckstein who struck out both times. And it's probably like that for you sometimes also, Mario, on the football field. That play is over so quickly, you have to just shut that out of your mind and concentrate on what's coming up next.
Yeah, good or bad, you got to put that behind you and just focus on the next play and try to make that one better.
Eckstein smacks a line drive. That'll drive in run number 3 for the Redbirds. And Marquis going first to third. Burke gets it into second base. Aggressive base running by the Cardinal pitcher. Eckstein gets RBI number 19.
Yeah, unfortunately, that play unmade on the hit to Marquis now has cost a run, kept the inning going. That would be a sight, though, to see Mario next to Eckstein.
Wouldn't that, though?
But see, little guys can succeed. He just got a base hit to drive in a run.
What's your favorite sport to watch other than football?
Sounds like football. Sounds like football to me.
Yeah, I would say football. Football again, but
You're
that's probably
6'7".
it.
You play basketball though before?
I did, but I didn't have the passion for it. So.
Taguchi has walked and bounced out. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Your parents pretty excited about coming to Houston, watching you play?
Yeah. Actually, I bought my mother a house out here, so she's already out here trying to get adjusted as well.
Was it a famous house too?
No, it wasn't. Okay. I guess it was just your average.
On through under Biggio's glove. It gets by and into center field. And the Cardinals get run number 4 home for a 4-0 lead. Taguchi hit a roller. Biggio moving to his right. And nearing behind the bag at second base. It kept on going underneath his glove into center field.
Well, that was a tough play because, again, that was so close to being playable. In fact, it looked like Bidge thought he had gauged it properly.
Yeah.
The way, because it looked like the glove was almost closed.
Marquis scored. Eckstein went first to third. It's a hit for Taguchi and RBI number 27 for him.
Now this is where Jim Hickey has to be a real psychologist, and this is where the fact that Jim is totally bilingual is helpful with Wandy, because now he's got to tell him, he's got to sell him on the idea that this is just the way the breaks have fallen. You're doing fine, because he has. He's done nothing wrong in this inning. Balls have not been hit hard, and he just got to keep him focused to get that third out.
And you look up and see Albert Pujols in the batter's box.
That's why you really got to focus.
4 runs, 6 hits for St. Louis. 4-0 lead. Pujols has bounced into a double play and fouled out to Lance Berkman. You got a chance, Mario, to meet some of the Astros players before the game tonight. You guys would get along famously.
They got some big football fans there. Bidge is a huge football fan,
Yeah.
season ticket holder.
Right. Smacked on a line, right center field. Berkman over for the count. And our thanks to Mario Williams for joining us. Good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good to have you in the city. And it's 4-0 Cardinals. It's 4-0. The Cardinals leading it here. They're trying to win for the first time this season at Minute Maid Park. Jason Marquis takes that 4-run lead to the last of the 4th inning, and Morgan Ensberg is the batter. Ensberg has the only Houston hit, an infield hit off Marquis' glove. Marquis delivers ball 1. Ensberg had that chance in the 1st inning and batting 3rd now, trying to set the table for Berkman and Wilson to follow here in the 4th. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Astros trying to get started on a furious comeback win. Trailing 4-0. Things did not go at all well for them in the top of this frame. Cardinals had 4 hits. That one goes back out of play, right field side. It's 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, that Mario Williams is a big man, isn't he, though? And I know a lot of people, maybe outside the Houston area, it was almost an inside comment I was making about the famous house. He had bought the house formerly occupied by the president of Texas Southern University, who got into some financial questionable practices with the school, and that's where the background of that was, and the house was part of it.
It's 3-1, and he is 6'7" and 295 pounds.
And runs fast. 4.7 in the 40.
He should be fun to watch. To shortstop, Eckstein. 1 down for Marquis. Aflac trivia time, Greg.
Oh, we're keyed. It won't be Stan Musial because
only 4 opening day shortstops since 1982. Wow.
You know, Ozzie, Clayton, him. Who's the other one?
That is a great question. That might take some time to get that.
Yeah, we know Ozzie, and then he was replaced by Clayton. Who was between? Oh, Ramirez.
Line drive left center field. Taguchi legging it back. It bangs off the wall. Berkman heads for second. The throw in is not in time. It's a double for Berkman. His 15th 2-base hit. And the Astros get their first extra base hit of the night. Preston Wilson has a man in scoring position.
This is the point of the game where you peck away. You just get 1 back here, 1 back there. If Preston wants to hit a home run, get 2 back, that's fine with me. But there's plenty of time left, even though it's 4-0. That ball was stroked well.
That's a start. Berkman continues to hit better than .500 in his career against Marquis. Preston Wilson fouled out to Scott Rowland in the 2nd inning. That's ball 1 to Wilson. It's Florida 7 and the Mets 3. They have played 7 at Shea Stadium. Dontrell Willis has the lead. Jose Lima was hit hard. 3 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. Darren Oliver doing a nice job in relief of Lima. It's 2 balls, no strikes. There's a chance, apparently, according to some reports, that the youngster Mike Pelfrey might be called up from the minor leagues to make a start for the Mets this weekend. Dontrell Willis also chimed in with a grand slam off Lima. That's Willis's first home run of the year, and Chris Woodward hit number 2 for the Mets. Smacked a long way to right center field. Headed for the Astros bullpen wall. Bangs off the wall to the center fielder Edmonds. Scoring Berkman, and it's 4-1 on the RBI double by Wilson.
Yeah, there's another one of those runners in scoring position. Runs batted in by Preston. His 46th of the year.
17 doubles for Wilson. Back-to-back 2-base hits, getting Berkman home. There's a start. Wilson's second on the club and runs batted in.
Renteria, that's what I'm thinking of. Why did I say Ramirez?
Yeah, Renteria.
My brain was locked.
That's all right. We got it. You got it.
Well, I knew who I meant. I just didn't remember his name.
Edgar Renteria. Eric Munson struck out in the second inning. Chris Burke on deck. The Astros trying to rattle Marquis' confidence a little bit here. He deals strike one on a breaking pitch over the outside corner. Cardinals starters have gone 34 and 27, but their ERA is a collective 4.94 for the season. That's hit to center field. Edmonds with his back to the plate, way back, looking up on Towles Hill. Jim Edmonds with a phenomenal play. Wilson tags and goes to third, but Jim Edmonds has made the best catch on Towles Hill. That is just spectacular.
That is not an editorial comment. That is a fact. That is the greatest catch in the history of this hill. You catch this in the World Series, Willie Mays, who are you? I'm telling you, that is it's harder, and it's every bit as spectacular as Willie in 1954.
And then he does a forward flop as he runs uphill. What an amazing play.
Wow.
We remember the one Lance Berkman made there years ago when he was playing center. And that was a beauty, but this was just spectacular. Now it's Chris Burke with the crowd still buzzing over Edmonds' effort.
Yeah, this one was a little bit smoother. Wow.
Burke looks at ball one. And there was a chance, had Edmonds not popped up and gotten the ball back in, for Wilson to score from second on that fly ball. Edmonds, an 8-time Gold Glover, just showed why. 2 balls, no strikes. He is just one of the very best in this last era of 10 years or so while he's been playing at going back on balls in center and making catches like that. Breaking ball called strike one, much to the chagrin of a lot of fans here.
Sad thing is he's broken Astro fans' hearts too many times with his bat, and with at least 2 catches, that one and certainly the one against Brad Ausmus in the playoffs in 04.
Edmonds broke in 93, so he's been at it longer than 10. Fly ball to left. Taguchi waiting. And the Edmonds catch was a major factor in the 4th inning, holding the Astros to 1 run on 2 hits with a man left. 4-1 St. Louis. Aflac Trivia asked about St. Louis's opening day shortstops. Only 4 since 1982. Who are they? Long timers. Ozzie Smith came in the trade from San Diego for Gary Templeton. Royce Clayton, Edgar Renteria, and David Eckstein.
One people would mostly forget probably would be Clayton, except that there was a big stink when he replaced Ozzie.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, there's been a rift ever since between Ozzie Smith and Tony La Russa over how that was handled, replacing Ozzie at shortstop. Scott Rowland with strike one. Rowland lifts it to center field. Chris Burke running way back to the warning track. Center fielder's active tonight. That's 1 out.
As I always say, this park is just death to hitters. Well, actually it is. If you hit to center field, that's pretty far, and that was a nice catch.
Encarnacion walked and scored in the 2nd inning. He grounded out in the 3rd. 6 hits for the Redbirds, 3 for the Astros. And he falls down as he swings and bangs it off his leg, and he's going to stay down for a while.
Hope he didn't use all the tape up on his wrists. He may need it on another body part.
Head athletic trainer Barry Weinberg arrives.
Right on the inside of the foot.
Now Tony La Russa comes out to home plate. It's been such enjoyable baseball when LaRussa and Garner are at opposite ends of the field, managing these two talented ball clubs the last couple of years. Many exciting games. Encarnacion's going to stay in. After this series, they don't meet again until September. 3 games in St. Louis, September 11th through the 13th. 4 games here, September 21st through the 24th.
Those all could be very important.
Lined into right field. That's a hit in front of Berkman for Encarnacion. Our Valero energy to take anywhere play. We have to look once again, and we'll look more than once at that catch on Eric Munson by Jim Edmonds.
And you're right, he gets up so quickly because Preston was on the ball at second base. He was tagging, and when you got to relay it in from that far, he made a turn at third, but Edmonds got it in quickly.
Now Edmonds, the batter, he's walked and grounded out. And the throw goes to first on Encarnacion, who has 3 steals and 6 tries. The Cardinals have not done much running. 53 attempts, 32 steals. They're 14th in the National League in stealing bases. They have lost 5 series in a row now. Strike to Edmonds.
As far as base stealing, they're comparable with the Astros, roughly the same numbers.
Yes, they are close. And with Encarnacion not very successful this year, not up to his career standards of 70%. Russ Springer warming up in the bullpen. If he were to be running, especially with Wandy Rodriguez doing so well at limiting steals, it would be just to avoid a double play, you'd have to think. But Edmonds strikes out a lot. That's the risk in sending the runner with Edmonds the batter. 49 strikeouts for Jim so far this season. He whiffed 139 times last year. Edmonds just recently starting to light it up with the bat. There's a diving play by Lamb, throwing from the knees to Everett. Back to first base. Wandy Rodriguez lunges, safe at first. Spectacular. Out number 2 as Lamb got it to Everett, and then Rodriguez unable to. The errant throw from Everett pulled him off the bag, and he had to save that throw from going out of play.
We've seen some leather in this game. We've seen some plays not made. We've seen defense playing a big role in this game, both good and bad. And that was a good. Nice play by Lamb to get the lead runner.
Yes, it was. Throw would not have had Edmonds anyway at first base. He leads off with Luna the batter. Luna's line to second and popped to first. Fouls that one, strike 1. Luna's hitting .348 on the road this year. Hector hit a home run here May 3rd off Roy Oswalt. This ball heads for left center field. Chris Burke running, Preston Wilson there, and Burke makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. St. Louis leads it 4-1 in the 5th. This Adam Everett puts one in the air to left field, coming over So Taguchi. 1 pitch, 1 out for Jason Marquis in the 5th. Now pinch hitter Willie Taveras comes up to bat for Wandy Rodriguez. Russ Springer's been warming up in the bullpen. Cardinals lead it 4-1, and in 5 innings off Wandy, they have 7 hits and 4 runs. He walked 3, and he struck out 2. Taveras 260, no homers, 20 runs batted in. Up to pinch hit. Willie's 0 for 7 so far on this homestand. Marquis delivers ball one. Rollins on the grass at third. Taveras started 11 games in a row in center field from June 24th through July 4th.
Since he's not had a starting position on a daily basis, he has pinch hit a few times. He's pretty good at it, actually. 3 for 7.
Now it's Fernando Nieve warming up. Earlier it was Russ Springer.
Springer was getting ready if they needed someone in that very inning, and Nieve is getting ready to maybe pitch a couple of innings.
Craig Biggio's on deck. It's fouled back by Willie T. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Marquis has been handed some nice working room early in this game as he shoots for win number 11. Tom Glavine has 11 to top the National League.
The Astros haven't made him throw enough pitches, actually. He's only thrown 64.
Number 65 is up and in. Ball 3.
That helps. Wandy, who during his stint as a regular leadoff man was sometimes criticized for not going deep enough in the count. 3-2.
And fouled away as Taveras battles. Biggio hoping to have a base runner when he comes up in a moment. The Astros have 21 pinch hits this year and 101 at bats. Line to Eckstein. 2 down. What's on tap with the Astros is brought to you by Bud Light. Anthony Reyes and Roger Clemens will do the pitching tomorrow. 3 o'clock airtime on Channel 26 in Houston. Roger 3-1 against the Redbirds the last 2 years. Reyes makes his 7th career start. Good-looking young right-hander. Sunday night is the finale before the All-Star break. Chris Carpenter and Andy Pettitte Sunday night at 7:05. Fly ball. Left fielder So Taguchi comes in for this Biggio fly. And it's a 1-2-3-5 for Marquis. Cardinals 4, Astros 1. Cardinals 4, Astros 1. Time now for our Geico quote. It comes from Lance Berkman. And he talked about the Cardinals. I never like to see these guys come to town, but at the same time, they're the most fun games we play because of the intensity level.
The Astros can make it a lot funner if they'll overcome this 3-run deficit.
They go to the bullpen with Fernando Nieve. Eric Munson meets him at the mound. 4-1 deficit for Nieve, who comes in to face Bennett, Marquis, and Eckstein in the Cardinals' 6th inning. Rodriguez threw 82 pitches, 50 for strikes. Bennett had 2 of the 7 hits he allowed and drove in a 2nd inning run. Then he scored in the 4th. Nieve last pitched Monday against the Cubs in the 7-2 win. 2 scoreless innings. His ERA 4.54 with 3 wins and 3 losses.
Told me the other day that he just likes being in the big leagues. You know, he was a starter. Now he's a bullpen guy, and he doesn't mind.
Very easy to get along with, huh? A strike 1 to Bennett.
Says now that he's coming out of the bullpen, though, he is mostly just throwing the 2 pitches. He was working on his changeup to go with his fastball and slider, but he says it's pretty much fastball slider now.
And the fastball's been up there in the mid-90s. That one coming up at 96 miles per hour. So he generally throws a little bit harder in relief than he did as a starter. In one start, he was up around 95 in the 1st inning, but then velocity dropped sharply after that. And as he said a few days ago, he hasn't had that same stuff every start. And who does? But that's good stuff to strike out Bennett.
That was a big slider. Hey fans, be here tomorrow at 3:05 as the Rocket will take them out against longtime division rival St. Louis. The first 10,000 fans receive an Andy Pettitte poster. Well, it's his good friend, presented by Reebok, and the first 15,000 fans receive a K-card sponsored by Royce Builders. Tickets going fast. Get your tickets now at Astros.com, because you gotta believe the buzz.
Jason Marquis got an RBI when he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the second. Then he singled and scored in the fourth. Good night for him at the plate. There's ball one to Marquis. Marquis grounds it foul.
You know who Nieve reminds me of?
No.
Octavio Dotel.
Okay.
Because he was a starter first. The difference was Nieve might still become a pretty good starting pitcher. Octavio had control problems, but he became a very good relief pitcher. And they both have the same type of fastball. Nieve's slider may be better.
308 for the Silver Bat winner last year, Jason Marquis. Silver Slugger. Fouls it back, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And for his career, he's a .228 hitter with 2 homers and 24 runs batted in for Marquis. It is generally a source of great delight for a pitcher to be able to get some hits. Foul ball.
With his base hit he had in the fourth, I think his average is now up to about 8 zillion against Wandy, because he had a home run last year in a game against him. He had 3 hits in the same game. He's 1 for 1 in this game, hit by a pitch first time, and then the single the second time.
It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. The other shot to the back door with a slider. Marquis got a hit in a game here May 3rd. He pitched against Roy Oswalt. Behind second base, Adam Everett's calling. 2 outs for Nieve. Astro relievers now in the last 18 innings have allowed 11 hits and 1 earned run. Monday against the Cubs, Nieve in 29 pitches was effective.
He says he thinks he can go, you know, as he did against the Cubs, maybe every other game if necessary. Of course, he's not likely going to have to pitch that often with his role on the team, but he's been impressive in this role.
David Eckstein drove in a run with a hit. Fouls it. Ensberg hustling over at the rail. So 1, 2, 3, 6th. And now the Astros come up with Lamb, Ensberg, and Berkman in the bottom of the 6th, trailing the Cardinals 4-1. Some action in the Crawford boxes. Cardinals 4, Astros 1. Our Texas area 4 dealers, league leaders. Show you the RBI leaders in the majors. David Ortiz, Big Papi of Boston, leads with 82. Lance Berkman has 76. Then it's Jim Thome with 75. Albert Pujols and Andrew Jones with 73. Ryan Howard and Justin Morneau with 71. Mike Lamb is 0 for 2. He leads it off in the home 6th inning. 4-1 St. Louis. Morgan Ensberg on deck. Lance Berkman due up 3rd. Jason Marquis is upstairs with ball 1. Pirates beat the Phillies 3-2 in Philadelphia. A win for Ian Snell. He's 8-6. Mike Gonzalez got his 13th save. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phillies continue to struggle. John Lieber, though, did return to the rotation and pitched well, although he got the loss. He's 3-6. Gave up just 2 earned runs in 7 innings. To center field, Edmonds waiting. 1 out. Boy, there are already trade winds circulating around that Philadelphia ball club. And some of the stories indicate that the general manager, Pat Gillick, will not be stand pat this year, Greg.
Well, they're not performing as people had hoped. Certainly, they have some individual guys who are having great years, but they've not been performing. You've got contract situations. You've got guys coming up that you might think can play. I think they will make some moves.
Morgan Ensberg with a drive to left field. They're getting up in the Landry's Crawford boxes, and they got their souvenir. Ensberg hits number 19. And it's 4-2 Cardinals.
Just a low liner. Just over the first or second row, but it ends a drought for Morgan, and it makes a 2-hit game. And that first hit, remember, was that off the pitcher's glove infield hit. We talked about how sometimes that can just relax you a little bit because you got a hit in the bank. Then he grounded out. Now he's hit one hard.
And you see that powerful swing of Ensberg. First home run since June 4th.
More than a month.
And now it's Lance Berkman. He doubled in the 4th inning. There's strike one.
And that was the magic bell ringer, number 20, given up this year by Marquis.
Berkman chops it over the mound. Eckstein was shading him up the middle. And that turns into out number 2 on good positioning. Ensberg, though, can really get sizzling at the plate with a home run bat. Once he starts hitting them, they quite often come in bunches.
Yeah, that's been the tendency with the Astros, that he can have a real stretch. He doesn't usually space them out. And he certainly doesn't usually space them out a month apart.
Preston Wilson with strike one. Doubled in a run in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2.
Kyle Kalbrenner of Arkansas says hi. He was a substitute bat boy for the Astros in spring training against the Reds, I assume, last spring.
One ball, one strike to Wilson. And it's 2-1. Astros trail 4-0. Got a run in the 4th. Now they're down by 2, chipping away at this Cardinal lead. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eric Munson on deck. Game-changing play so far has been the Edmonds catch on Munson in the 4th inning. The Astros had back-to-back doubles. That could have been a 3rd straight extra base hit. They wound up scoring 1 run in the 4th and left a man on 3rd. A shot into the left field corner by Rowland. That one skipped by him to his right. Wilson heads in with another double. He's had a flurry of those lately. 2 tonight to give him 18 for the year.
He doesn't have an explanation as to why he is hitting so much better over the last month to 6 weeks. He just says it's one of those things. You go in cycles, and the unfortunate thing is he's right on so many balls. But boy, you know that old line about first impressions. How many people still only remember him from April when he was striking out a lot? They have missed an awful lot of the season because he is really hitting the ball.
He has come on. Eric Munson, the batter now. He struck out and then hit that deep drive to Towles Hill about 415 feet away, leading to Edmonds' terrific catch. There's strike one to Munson.
Pretty good curveball there, and he swung over the top of it.
It's no balls and 2 strikes.
If we can see where Edmonds plays center field and see that he's a shallow center fielder, you can see he's right here. He would have been about the same place with Munson last time, and he went all the way out here. That's a long way to go for a ball.
Grounded foul. Well, you know, Edmonds is known for playing shallow, and that's why he can do it. The best center fielders are the ones who can play shallow and take away those hits between medium range center field and second base and still be able to get back and catch those that would be extra base hits.
Look at that, all that green behind him and a warning track to cross, and he made a catch about, well, not there. He was a little late on the point.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Marquis shooting for his 11th win, trying to join Tom Glavine. Has allowed 5 hits. The Cardinals have hit the hit column for him 7 times. Got the early run support with 2 in the 2nd and 2 in the 4th. And now he goes to 2 and 2 on Munson. With Burke on deck. Left-handed hitters are hitting 50 points higher against Jason Marquis. Now it's a full count. He was 0-2 on Munson and 3-2 on Munson.
Thought he would get him way off stride with a changeup, and he might have, except it was so far inside, Eric never really had to think about swinging at it.
Crowd starting to stir. And Munson bounces it foul. So Eric with a very good at bat here. After hitting that deep drive in the 4th inning, has worked his way back into a favorable position, and Gary Bennett goes out to talk this situation over with Marquis. This has turned into a lengthy at bat. And it's 86 pitches for the night for Marquis now.
He's gone change-up curveball, and you're kind of wondering if he might try to sneak a high fastball past Eric. He's got to have a lot of confidence that he's not going to drop it down over the heart of the plate, though.
Foul ball. Scott rolling over, but it's caught by a fan.
You can see the board showed you it was a slider. Way to go, Mr. Melkor.
Talking a moment ago about the Phillies, Greg. There are rumors swirling that they might trade Bobby Abreu or Pat Burrell, one of the really big guns on that club this year. Apparently Abreu has an apartment in downtown Manhattan. Fly ball left field. Taguchi waiting. And in the 6th inning, the Astros get the Ensberg homer and move closer, 4-2 Cardinals. Chevy Truck game summary will get you caught up on this 4-2 game with the Cardinals leading. Wandy Rodriguez in 5 innings allowed 7 hits, 4 runs. He walked 3, fanned a couple. Morgan Ensberg just broke a home run drought with his first long ball since the 4th of June, number 19 of the year. Jim Edmonds climbed the hill in the 4th to rob Eric Munson. Cardinals lead it by 2 as they come up in the 7th inning against Fernando Nieve. And it's going to be with the pinch hitter John Rodriguez batting for So Taguchi. Rodriguez continues to impress with his swings against the Astros this season, and he did it again last night with a pinch double in the 8th inning. That was off Dan Wheeler. But Rodriguez evidently has fallen out of favor, not getting many starts in the Cardinal lineup despite his .301 batting average. He has not gone deep, so that might tell you one reason right there, Greg.
That and the fact that he's average defensively and not a real quick guy.
Chris Duncan lately has had the starts in left field against right-handed pitching. Ball 1 to Rodriguez. When he's been in the lineup, though, he's hit .333 in 31 games. He is 7 for 20 against the Astros for a .350 batting average this season. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's had a couple hits off Brad Lidge. Got one off Wheeler last night. Nieve delivers ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fernando is more likely to go more than 1 inning in relief than most of the other Astros relievers. You see Rodriguez good numbers against Houston. It's 3-1 to him.
One of the worst baseball decisions of all time was made on this date in 1914 by 2 different teams.
What did they do?
Well, Baltimore Orioles of the International League willing to sell Babe Ruth to the Phillies, or to the Philadelphia Athletics.
High drive right field. Berkman's not moving. That's a pinch homer for John Rodriguez.
Shouldn't have mentioned the name Babe Ruth because he just hit one, didn't he? That was a Babe Ruth shot.
Yeah, first home run of the year, a no-doubter by Rodriguez, and the Cardinals lead it 5-2.
So he's saying, Tony, see, I can hit the ball a long way. You might play me more.
Number 1 for J-Rod. Now Albert Pujols takes, and it's ball 1 to him. John Rodriguez all smiles after delivering off the bench. That's the 4th pinch hit homer by a Cardinal this season. Here's the powerful swing.
Pitch was away a little bit, but it was right at the belt.
Pujols skies it behind the dish, and it's out of play. 1-2 the count. Rodriguez had 133 at bats without going deep this season.
As far as he hit that one, that's hard to believe. 430 feet.
So he and Ensberg both have broken droughts tonight. This one might be in play for Munson, coming over near the Astros on deck circle. 1 down. Our Corona Miles Away fact comes your way now. On this day in 1993, Tom Browning of Cincinnati is fined $500 for leaving the Reds dugout in a game against the Cubs. He went across the street and watched the game from the roof of a building on Sheffield Avenue.
He just wanted to see what it was like. What's all this hubbub about?
It was probably worth the $500 to Tom Browning. Scott Rowland takes, and there's strike 1 to him.
Our producer Jeff McElroy says nowadays it would cost more than that because he thinks the tickets cost $600 on the roof.
Ensberg throws to Lamb. Rolling down, 2 outs. John Rodriguez hit 5 homers last year for St. Louis and 149 at bats. And connecting for number 1 this season in almost that many at bats. Now it's Encarnacion. He is 1 for 2 with a walk. $43,236, another sellout. That's ball 1.
That is actually more than a sellout since there aren't that many seats.
Sellout number 9 of the year for the Astros. And that's 5 sellouts in the last 6 games. Encarnacion tried to check but did not. It's a strike. Culpa rings it up for first base.
Well, before Rodriguez hit that unwanted home run, I didn't finish that Babe Ruth story. Babe had been offered to the Philadelphia A's, but Connie Mack pleaded poverty, and the Reds passed on him. They had a chance at him too.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'd say those were 2 bad decisions.
There are plenty of those down through the history of this sport. It's San Diego 3, Washington 2. They go to the bottom of the 9th in Washington. Ensberg, short hop play to his left. And it's 3 outs after the home run by Rodriguez. The Cardinals lead it by 3, 5-2. Five to 2 Cardinals. Chris Burke looks at ball 1, leading off the home 7th inning for Houston. He walked in the 2nd, fly to left in the 4th. Jason Marquis leads by 3, gets a fly ball to right field. Encarnacion waiting. 1 down. And Adam Everett walks toward the batter's box. Pitcher spot coming up next. Russ Springer has been moving around in the Astros bullpen. Nieve does come out to occupy the on-deck circle. Everett is struck out and fly to left. Cleveland shut out Baltimore 9-0. CC Sabathia beating Chris Benson. Sabathia is 7-4. Here's strike one, but that Indian club has been very disappointing. Kind of similar to the Phillies this year. Expected to be pretty good.
I really thought the Phillies would be in the hunt.
Bounced off Adam Everett's left foot. No balls and 2 strikes. Bill Garner hoping for a fire with his offense here in the 7th inning to get into that Cardinal bullpen, get Marquis out of the game. Marquis has thrown 92 pitches.
Yeah, he's got a lot of soft fly balls early in the count. I think I had 12 balls that have been hit in the air, one form or the other.
Off the end of the bat, line drive, and no play at first by the second baseman Luna, who tracks it down. It's a hit for Everett.
Spend Sunday evening with your family at Minute Maid Park because it's family day at the ballpark, a family night, and attractions such as the Houston Zoo, Ringling Brothers Circus, and more will be located throughout the park to provide information about summer activities and programs for kids. Plus, the first 25,000 fans receive Believe the Buzz rally towels courtesy of TGF Hair Salon. So support the Astros. Purchase tickets tonight at Astros.com. He is supporting, or she, and he or she doesn't even know it. And let's see. You're going to see one that's smaller than that.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to see his new granddaughter over the weekend.
Caitlin Clare. Jason Lane, 207, is a pinch hitter for Fernando Nieve. He has 11 homers, 30 runs batted in. 1 for 9 against St. Louis. Now it's Trevor Miller in the bullpen. Edmonds, Luna, Benadu up in the Cardinal 9th. Or 8th, rather. Lane tried to check his swing, and he did. On the field at first base, it's ball 1. Ron Culpo with that call. Jason was saying tonight before the game that a guy in his position just trying to take the pressure off himself a little bit. His good numbers against Marquis. 6 for 17. When he starts, he's just trying to do something to help the club win. He certainly doesn't like where his batting average is. 1 ball and 1 strike, but other than that, his production looks pretty good for the number of at-bats he has. He has walked a lot this season. Gotten himself into some favorable counts. And he feels that given the at-bats, that batting average will turn. Has a .335 on base average. Eckstein to his right, to second. Luna on to first. Double play. No runs a hit, nobody left after 7. Cardinals 5, Astros 2. The Astros' upcoming schedule is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. It shows a 3 o'clock game tomorrow. Reyes and Clemens, and Sunday a 7 o'clock start for Chris Carpenter and Andy Pettit. And the Astros, after the All-Star break, head out on another long road trip, which starts at Florida with a 4-game series Thursday through Sunday. So 24-year-old Anthony Reyes takes the mound against 43-year-old Roger Clemens tomorrow.
Got rings?
Trevor Miller's in, and Jim Edmonds hits against him, lefty on lefty. Edmonds backs away, and it's ball 1. Edmonds 0 for 2 with a walk. Fernando Nieve in 2 innings allowed 1 hit, 1 run with no walks and 1 strikeout.
By the way, a road trip that you mentioned starting after the break. JD will be back. We've mentioned this a number of times, and not all of you have heard us. He's been on vacation this week, predetermined before the season began, and he will return with the first series on the road after the break.
Trevor's 0-2. His ERA 3.86 for 23 in the 3rd innings. It's 1-2. We'd like to send along get well wishes to Kim Wilkinson. Does a lot of work with us here in the booth. She's been unable to work the last couple of games. Hope to see her back in the booth again soon. That next homestand will not be anytime soon, though, will it?
She will have plenty of time to be 100%.
Yeah. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
But I can tell you, she's hoping it doesn't take anywhere near that long.
Absolutely. Trevor has not pitched in a game since Sunday at Texas. Lefty's hitting .226 against him. And a good breaking ball strikes out Edmonds.
You know, he kidded me earlier this year. We were talking about him when he was pitching out of the bullpen in Tampa Bay, and they were there. You know, he was the designated lefty. It was kind of a joke because he really, up to this point, has not really been a lefty specialist. Similar to what Gallo used to feel he was, that really he could pitch to both sides because he was left-handed. But we've noticed that he has done a lot more of that lefty specialist type pitching lately.
Luna rolls to Biggio. 2 outs.
Like he did there, he dropped down and he came across the plate to the left-handed hitter and he struck him out. That looked like a lefty specialist.
Well, his teammate Russ Springer is trying to get him to drop down, even on right-handers, as you saw. And use that same angle all the time.
Well, it sometimes will make the ball sink more, get a little more movement.
Gary Bennett has 2 hits, an RBI, and a run scored. Trevor racked up some money when he struck out Edmonds for the Strikeouts for Troops campaign. There's a shot on the ground into left field, and Bennett's had a big night, 3 hits.
You talk about Springer. The Astros are lucky because they've got Russ in the bullpen, who really is essentially a coach and mentor and leader out there. He's been around, got a lot of experience. And Brad Ausmus, the catcher, is really more than just a player on this team too. He's a real student of the game, guides pitchers, really goes over what's coming up. Not every team has players like that.
No. Jason Marquis takes ball 1. Marquis has an RBI when he was hit by a pitch in the second. He singled and scored in the fourth, so he's been a big part of the Cardinals' attack, figuring into 2 of the St. Louis 5 runs tonight. Broken bat roller. Biggio to his left. Gets Marquis. No runs, a hit. A man stranded in the middle of the 8th. 5-2 Cardinals. Cardinals 5, Astros 2. Houston trying to catch up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jason Marquis has limited the Astros to 7 hits and 2 runs through the first 7. And now in the bottom of the 8th inning, Cardinals, of course, will have bullpen support if he needs it as he goes against the top of the order. Biggio, Lamb, and Ensberg.
He's thrown 96 pitches, but he's not had any huge innings. The 6th was about the worst, where he had to throw a few, and that's what really takes it out of you.
Biggio 0 for 3. Marquis has done a number on Biggio and Lamb. The top 2 hitters combined 0 for 6, not reaching base once.
First inning, he got them both hit it on the ground. Ever since, everything's been in the air, although Lamb hit one very hard to left.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Marquis is nearing 100 pitches for the night. Jared Wright and the Yankees shut out Tampa Bay 1-0, beating Jay So. Mariano Rivera got his 19th save. The run came in the 4th inning. 2 balls and a strike. .99 pitches for Marquis. San Diego 3, Washington 2. Woody Williams goes to 4-1 with a win for the Padres. Biggio chases a high pitch, foul tips it. It's 2-2. Ramon Ortiz lost it for the Nationals. He's 6-7, and Trevor Hoffman got his 23rd save with a homer from Adrian Gonzalez, number 12. Those are the numbers for Marquis. He's allowed 6 hits. Biggio rolls it foul, third base side. Mike Lamb waiting next. The Astros hoping to put together a rally here in the 8th inning and get the middle of the lineup to the plate. Cardinals have the top of their order due up in the 9th. They seem to be enjoying themselves tonight. They got a foul ball earlier. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Florida knocked off the Mets 7-3. Dontrelle Willis winning. He's 6-7, and he hit a grand slam off Jose Luna, who's 0-4. Biggio bounces it. Luna's in. 1 out for Marquis. Marquis 6-3 lifetime against Houston. Into bonus time now. Saving his bullpen for the 3:05 start tomorrow. Cardinals do have a right-hander working right now in their bullpen.
I think it's Isringhausen.
Yep. Mike Lamb is 0 for 3. And there's strike one to Mike. Kansas City leads Toronto 4-3. They've played 6 in Kansas City. Matt Stairs hit his 8th home run. Lamb fouls it back, and it's 0-2. Isringhausen getting loose, has 25 saves. He leads the National League. When you come out Sunday night for the 7:05 start, you can join the Astros and Reliant Energy for a Christmas in July food drive by bringing a canned item or cash donation. And the first 10,000 fans to donate money or food will receive an Astros Reliant Energy Santa hat. Strikeout, 2 down. Our Coors Light cold blast came from Morgan Ensberg. And it might unleash a series of blasts from Morgan. That can often happen the way he swings the bat. This is home run number 19 in the 6th inning. First long ball since June 4th. He also has an infield hit tonight, going 2 for 3. That's his 8th career homer against the Redbirds. Strike to Ensberg. It's Texas 8, Minnesota 2. They're in the top of the 5th at Arlington. Joe Mauer has hit his 7th home run for the Twins. Michael Young, number 7. Gary Matthews Jr., number 9 for the Rangers. That Mauer has been a story in the first half of the season, hasn't he?
Just a great young catcher and obviously a great hitter. But he is a good catcher, too.
Ensberg misses the breaking pitch. It's 1-2. There has not been an American League catcher who's won the batting title. There have been a couple in the National League. Ernie Lombardi, the last to do it, 1942.
I would love to have seen him hit, because he must have hit the ball very, very hard, because he was slower than molasses.
Yeah, got no leg hits at all.
They used to play him back. Everybody played him on the grass. He was so slow. And he's still 1-2 batting time.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Ensberg with Berkman on deck. 109 pitches for Marquis. And he's at 3-2 now. Cincinnati 10, Atlanta 5. They're in the bottom of the 9th in Atlanta, and Eddie Guardado is pitching for the Reds. Chipper Jones hit number 11 for Atlanta. Rich Aurelia number 11 for Cincinnati.
I don't know how effective Guardado will be, but at least there's no pressure on him. It's not a save situation. Yeah, 5 runs. He better be good enough to hold that.
That wouldn't be a good way to be welcomed to a new ball club. Ball 4 as Marquis is errant with his curveball for his 2nd walk of the night. First one came back in the 2nd inning. Son, a good replay is that catch by Lance Berkman in the 3rd inning on Albert Pujols in foul territory. He had a long run, reached down, backhanded the ball, and then flipped over the railing, all while blowing a bubble.
Yeah, never lost his bubble.
Now Dave Duncan, whose son Chris is on the Cardinals club. Dave McKay has a son Cody. And Hal McRae, Brian, and they have all been fine ball players. St. Louis 5, Houston 2. Back in a moment. It's 5-2. The Cardinals lead the Astros, and the Astros have Morgan Ensberg at first base, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tony La Russa goes to his closer, Jason Isringhausen, who leads the National League in saves with 25. He's 2-4 with a 3.75 ERA.
He's not had a perfect season. He's walked way too many. He's walked 1 per appearance, actually, 1 per inning. but he strikes out about the same number. He's walked 27, as you can see. In let's see, what was the total number of games on that? 35. So he's walked about as many as he's given up hits. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. 27 hits, 27 walks.
So what you're telling us is that even though he has an opponent's batting average of 211, he's been in constant trouble this season.
Yeah, that's why the earned run average is a little higher. He's had the comparable saves to blown saves to Lidge, although that is not bad for either one of them with as many opportunities that they've had.
Now it's Isringhausen and it's Berkman with Preston Wilson on deck. Lance fouls it for strike one. Lance doubled and scored in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3 in his career, 2 for 12 against Isringhausen with 5 strikeouts. Isringhausen is pitching for the 3rd time this year against the Astros. He got a save in a 3-1 game at St. Louis May 29th. And then 2 scoreless innings in an extra inning game at St. Louis May 31st. Runner goes. Fly ball, shallow center field. Jim Edmonds in. That's a hit in front of him. Ensberger's running on the pitch. He winds up at 3rd. On a bloop single by Berkman. He's 2 for 4.
Well, even as shallow as he plays, and he might have been a little bit deeper for Lance, he still didn't have much of a chance of that. He tried to put a nice little fake on it. Looked like he might be coming in to get it, but Ensberg didn't buy it with 2 outs, so he has no reason to buy it.
That gets a potential tying run to home plate. Preston Wilson. He has a pair of doubles tonight. One of them drove in a run. Eric Munson's on deck. Here's ball 1. There's a story about Isringhausen that indicated that he may plan to throw fewer cut fastballs. And some people think that he should throw more straight fastballs, not rely on the cutter as much as he has been. Down to 3rd and rolling. Gets it to 2nd for the force play. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left for the Astros. Moving to the ninth. Cardinals 5, Houston 2. It's 5-2. The Cardinals lead the Astros. They're trying to square this 4-game series at 1 game each. They bat in the 9th inning with the top of the lineup. Eckstein, Rodriguez, and Pujols due up against Trevor Miller, who had a scoreless 8th inning, allowing a hit to Bennett, striking out Edmonds. The Astros have Munson, Burke, and Everett due up in their 9th inning. Eckstein pops it back and out of play. Strike 1. He drove in a run with a hit in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 4. Jason Marquis in a position to be an 11-game winner to join Tom Glavine atop the National League ladder. Went 7 2/3 innings. He allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, walking 2, fanning 3, threw 112 pitches. 71 were strikes.
Yeah, this will definitely go down as one of his best outings of the year. Anybody coming in with a 5.78 earned run average and only gives up 2 runs in almost 8 full innings, it's got to count.
Rip foul, and the count stays at 0-2 on Eckstein. Trevor Miller took a loss in one of his 2 appearances against St. Louis earlier this season. He's given up 2 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings now for the season against the Redbirds. And it's fouled, keeping the count at no balls, 2 strikes. Cincinnati has defeated Atlanta 10-5. Eric Milton the winner. He's 5-4. He beats Horacio Ramirez, who's 4-3. So The Reds are now 45 and 42. Began the night 2 behind St. Louis. They are trying to avoid a second half collapse, which has happened to them a few times in recent years. It's 1-2 now. Rodriguez on deck. The Cubs are leading at Milwaukee 3-1. They've played 6 at Miller Park. Foul back. It's still a 1-ball 2-strike count.
With that Cincinnati win, two things are known for sure. Cardinals lead can be no more than 2 no matter what they do in this game, because the Reds are 2 back. And the Reds, they have their win in the book, can't be any further back than 2.
Foul back, and Eckstein battles against Miller here.
The Astros don't rally. They drop back to where they were before the series began, 4 games back.
Fly ball over shortstop. Preston Wilson over and calling in left center, and Burke makes the catch. He also was calling. 1 out.
Pattern is center fielder takes, and you notice the pattern is one guy goes in front of the other so they don't crash.
That was well coordinated.
Yeah.
Those crashes can get ugly, can't they?
They sure can.
John Rodriguez of New York, New York, hit a home run in the 7th inning. Signed as a free agent by the Yankees. He fouls it back. He signed for $1,000. Traded to St. Louis by Cleveland.
He just wanted to play.
He spent 9 years in the minor leagues. One ball and 1 strike. Boston leads the White Sox at U.S. Cellular 5-2. They're in the top of the 7th inning. David Ortiz has hit his 30th already. Strong MVP candidate in the American League. Fair ball up the right field line. It goes toward the corner. Berkman plays the carom and throws into second. Another extra base hit for Rodriguez. In this series so far, he has 3 at-bats, 3 extra base hits, a homer and 2 doubles. It's his 10th double.
Pretty good number of doubles for halfway through the season for a guy that isn't in the lineup every game. So he may not have hit many homers, only the 1 tonight, but he had some extra base hits. Lynch was thinking maybe another miracle. Not this time.
Intentional walk here to Albert Pujols will bring up Scott Rowland with runners at first and second and 1 out. Cardinals have 10 hits. This will be their 4th walk in the game. They've been retired 1, 2, 3 only twice tonight in the 9 innings. Cardinals, even though their lineup doesn't always click as well as it has in the past with the turnover they had on their club, are still 5th in the league in runs scored. And they had the injury to Pujols for a couple of weeks. 2 men on now for Rowland. Rowland really picked up the pace after Pujols got hurt. Phil Garner has a right-hander, and he's going to him right here. 5-2 St. Louis. And that's it for Trevor Miller, who works an inning and a 3rd tonight. More in a moment. 5-2, the Redbirds lead it. Time for a little smooch in the stands.
The wonderful thing about that, he's at the ball game and he doesn't even care that the home team's losing. It's just fun to be here.
Isn't it though? Russ Springer, a former Cardinal, comes in with a 1-0 record, a 3.81 ERA. He inherits 2 base runners, and there's 1 out as he faces Scott Rowland. Monday he had one scoreless inning, and that was against the Cubs in the 7-2 Houston win. He came in with a 2-run lead in the 6th. Rolen has a double in 4 trips. A roller, and quickly to his right, Everett. He throws to second. Biggio with a relay, safe at first. Now number 2 goes 6-4. Rolen beats the double play relay, and it's Encarnacion coming up.
Pretty much in the hole, which meant 2 long throws, and Bidge couldn't really get full extension on that throw, much on it. So it just means Springer's going to have to work one more guy. But since he only threw 1 pitch, he's not tired yet.
Well, he was warming up in the 5th inning, as you pointed out.
Yeah, that's a little unusual. You don't see that often anymore in the majors, where a guy warms up early, doesn't get in the game, and then they warm him up 4 innings later. But Russ is a veteran.
Ball 1 to Encarnacion. He has a hit and a walk tonight.
In his warm-up in the 5th, we weren't watching it pitch by pitch, so it may have been one of those very loose warm-ups, just in case.
This one stopped by Munson. The runner will advance to second base. Rolen. But Munson did a great job just to keep that one from going all the way back.
That was, let's just say, just a little bit outside. He really had to dive for it.
Wild pitch by Springer.
You could see Munson had to decide exactly what angle he was going to take on that. He first couldn't decide if he wanted to keep the glove one way or turn it the other way, and his bare hand stopped as much as anything.
First wild pitch of the season for Russ. Upstairs, the appeal goes to first. Check swing call. It's 3-0 on Encarnacion. Ron Culpus had a few calls to make tonight on check swings. Russ and the relievers and the Astros bullpen will round up some money based on their strikeout total. They have more than 225 strikeouts for the season from the Astros relievers to donate that money to Strikeouts for Troops. 3 balls, 1 strike. Edmonds on deck. Arizona and Colorado in the top of the 5th inning. 4-3 Arizona. Jerry DeVannen hit his 4th home run for the D-backs.
Russ really wants to come back and get Encarnacion. Doesn't want to lose him to a walk, because then he would have to face Edmonds, or someone right-handed would have to face Edmonds with the bases loaded. There's no more left-handed pitchers left.
Foul back. It should be Jeff DeVannen. His father, Jerry, played Major League Baseball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And lives here.
He was a Cardinal, wasn't he?
Yeah, sure was. Angels 2, Oakland nothing. They've played 2 in Oakland. And the fans hope Springer can end the Cardinal 9th here. With the Astros down by 3. It's ball 4 instead to Encarnacion, loading the bases for Edmonds now. That's walk number 5 for the Astros pitchers tonight. Edmonds drew one of those walks. He's 0 for 3. Matt Morris will pitch for the Giants tonight in Los Angeles against Chad Billingsley. Morris 7-7, the former Cardinal, having a pretty decent year for the Giants. That's ball 1.
No room here, and you certainly would prefer not to have to pitch behind the count to this guy.
He's behind 2-0.
Yeah, but you are going to have to pitch behind the count.
So Edmonds, who has Rodriguez at third, Rolen at second, and Encarnacion at first. In a very favorable position here at 2 balls, no strikes. And he goes for that one for 2-1 now. 275 with the bases loaded. 5 grand slams for Edmonds. Cardinals were rolling right along until they hit the month of June. They were 9-16 in June. Springer misses there, and it's 3-1.
That was close. You could tell from the crowd reaction, and you could tell from Springer's reaction, Munson's reaction, holding it there. Must have been set up outside because he didn't move the glove any.
Edmonds takes, and it's ball 4, forcing in a run. 6-2 St. Louis. Edmonds gets RBI 45. The run is charged to Trevor Miller. Hector Luna's 0 for 4. Curveball inside. Ball 1 to Luna with Gary Bennett on deck. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Russ's stuff's been fine here in this inning. He just the command not.
To center field. That's in for a hit. Scoring Roland, and Encarnacion behind him comes in. The throw goes to the cutoff man Everett. Relay back to Biggio. They've got a rundown going, and they tag Edmonds for the final out. But the Cardinals play add-on in the 9th inning, and they now have a comfortable lead going to the bottom of the 9th inning. 8-2 Cardinals with their 3-run 9th inning, adding to their lead, and they have 11 hits now. Our player of the game is brought to you by Gatorade, and we take a look at Jason Marquis in a position to be an 11-game winner, joining Tom Glavine. He allowed only 6 hits and 2 runs in his 7 2/3 innings. He struck out 3. Didn't get the usual quota of ground balls, but nonetheless was effective tonight.
No, he got an awful lot of fly balls, an awful lot of soft fly balls early in the counts.
Jason Isringhausen now will find it much easier to get save number 26. He entered the game in a save situation, but now with the additional runs, needs to get only 3 outs to get his 26th save. Eric Munson's 0 for 3. And he looks at strike 1. Trevor Miller in 1 1/3 innings allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, walking 1, fanning 1. Isringhausen's high with a breaking pitch. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Carlos Zambrano's pitching for the Cubs tonight and pitching well. 6 innings, 1 run at Milwaukee. Count runs to 2-1 for Isringhausen. Jason, a low draft choice of the New York Mets.
44th round, I think it was.
2-2 the count. And he was traded by the Mets to Oakland. St. Louis signed him as a free agent. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. He had 39 saves last year, finishing 5th in the league.
He's had to battle back from some stuff too. He had a lung tumor, shoulder and elbow surgery.
That's a strikeout. Munson caught looking. He didn't think so, but Dale Scott rang him up.
When Izzy started his climb to the majors, he was through the Met system, they thought he was going to be one of their main guys in the rotation. Well, that was how we tactfully usually say that is that was a good pitcher's pitch.
Chris Burke is 0 for 2 with a walk. Well, it appeared that it was Eric Munson's thought that pitch broke inside with the late break to it. One ball and one strike. Cardinals have struggled on the road this year compared to previous seasons. That one's foul back. It's 1-2. A win tonight would make them 20-22 on the road, but they have been extremely successful in recent years away from home.
Well, they're almost away from home when they're home this year because remember the Astros had troubles in 2000 when they moved to Minute Maid Park, then known as Enron Field, and Cardinals, of course, are in their brand new ballpark this year. So even though they're probably going to play okay there, the Astros had some other reasons why they had problems. It wasn't really the park.
Last year, the Redbirds were 50-31 on the road, and the year before they were 52-29. They've not had a losing road record for an entire season since 2003. Burke is hit by the pitch. Like it got him near the left forearm. And Isringhausen was ahead in the count 1-2. He's unhappy with that development as the pitch goes up and in. Bennett caught that one as well on the bare hand after it grazed Burke's left forearm.
Only the second batter that Isringhausen has hit this year, but really your closers better not be hitting very many people because they come in awfully tight situations.
Adam Everett has a hit in 3 at-bats. A strike one. Orlando Palmeiro is on deck with a pitcher spot due up next. Good fastball there, makes it 0-2. It came up at 95 miles per hour from Isringhausen.
He reared back on that one. He doesn't throw consistently that hard.
This has been the Cardinals' poorest stretch, losing 11 of 15 since '97. They dropped 13 of 16 from late July through August 14th in '97. No balls, 2 strikes.
Though it doesn't look good for the hometown crew tonight, don't forget it's Clemens tomorrow and Pettit on Sunday. Hope you've already got your tickets.
If not, you might have to scramble a little bit.
Yeah, judging from the crowds the first 2 nights. There's Roger. He has been studying the hitters.
Made a trip to Lexington earlier this week to spend some time with his son Kobe. Isringhausen gets strikeout number 2. And number 5 for Cardinal pitching tonight. Orlando Palmeiro is a pinch hitter for Russ Springer. Springer in 2/3 of an inning allowed 1 hit, 1 run with 2 walks and no strikeouts. 222 for Palmeiro, no homers. He's driven in 6. 0 for 1 last night as a pinch hitter. He's really been the go-to guy this year for Phil Garner in pinch hitting appearances. He has 34 at bats, far more than anybody else on the Astros with 6 hits. And 91 pinch hits for his career. He fouls that out of play for strike 1. He's a happy guy.
I'm glad I hung it out here.
Yeah.
I stuck it out.
And they'll get fireworks after the game, too.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people are sticking out. That's right. It's not just for foul balls. This is Friday fireworks.
Burke takes second on fielder's indifference.
It's a 2 firework week here at Minute Maid Park. We had them on the 3rd last Tuesday night.
Palmeiro looks at that one inside. Count running to 2-1. With those 91 career pinch hits, Palmeiro's career average is 269 as a pinch hitter. That's pretty rare. Chokes up a little on the bat, has outstanding bat control. He smokes a line drive. It's caught by Luna, and the Cardinals square the series at 1 game each, winning this one 8-2. A win for Jason Marquis. He's 11-6. A loss for Wandy Rodriguez. He is 9-6. We'll be back with more from the ballpark in just a moment. First, let's go to the studio for the Busch Light Southwest Sports Report.